Good day to you all. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm ready for another adventure here on Vancouver Island, the island of many, many waterfalls. And hopefully, with any luck, I'll find some today. I'm located at a spot that I've been to one time before, and this is basically as far as I got right here. And what I ended up doing is climbing along there because that water's really deep there. And so it got to be too much effort to get very little distance. So today I have the SS Mini Minnow, my inflatable. So I'm going to make a real effort to explore this river today. And unfortunately, yet again, we're in the middle of summer and it's another clear, sunny day. So not very conducive for getting photos. So I can only hope we get a little bit of cloud at some point on my way back if I find something. But I know this area here is quite nice. And so once I get floating along, I'll tune in and show you what I'm seeing as I see it. Let's go. Okay, so here's my official starting point. And that water is pretty deep. So I either have to navigate around it, but the easiest way to go is to use an inflatable and float along there. So here we go, wish me luck. So what I'm going to do is I'll stop here and there, and I'll do a little bit of vlogging because I've tried paddling and vlogging, and it's a little challenging, and putting it on the top of my head, sometimes that doesn't work too well either. And then I'll do a little 360. As you can see, this is already a beautiful area, but just getting started, and it looks like it's going to be a little bit boring once I get over to that area there, so I'll pick up then. And this is a little bit further down, and I remember this little sandbar. I think that's as far as I got last time. You kind of have to weigh your options because that's what I had to traverse last time, up in the bush over these rocks. And by comparison, I just paddled along this channel in basically 30 seconds compared to several minutes there. So time-wise, it's definitely worth it. And I am in a little canyon, so the sun hasn't come out full force, but eventually it will, unfortunately. So that's what I just did, the first section. And I have to tell you that the current along here is getting a little bit, I mean, not super strong or anything, but you can feel that I was definitely being pushed by the current. And that's what you have to be a little careful of when you're doing silly things like this, especially by yourself. Because once you get down to a certain level, like, look at this. I might not be able to get up that. So if I get to a certain point and I get stuck with cliffs, oh wow, you can see a bit of a waterfall up there. Actually, I do think that I came this far last time. That's where I turned around. But anyway, so I remember that waterfall. This is not going to be easy going because you've got pockets of water that's a little deep, and then you got all these rather big boulders instead of, you know, smaller ones like in the middle of the screen over there, which you can walk along those no problem. But so it could be an interesting adventure, but that's what I'm looking for, right? So one step at a time, basically. Again, I have to be extra careful because I'm by myself, and you might be wondering, am I concerned that my inflatable might get popped? And I'm aware that could happen because it has happened before. It happened in Looper Canyon, as a matter of fact. I had to kind of jump down into it and the impact popped it, but I just had enough air in it to make it back to the beginning of the canyon. So I have to be careful about a lot of things out here, but like I said, one step at a time, and just got to go really carefully. Another thing you might be wondering is, am I concerned that I'm going to be floating down this river or creek, and all of a sudden I go around a corner and I get caught up in this flow of water, and there's a waterfall, and I go over the waterfall. Well, again, I'm not going to use the word concerned. I'll replace it with the word I'm aware that could happen, which is precisely why I'm up on these rocks right now doing a little bit of scouting, because there's my inflatable down there. So I came up to this spot here. All I could see is this very deep pool of water, but I couldn't see around the corner. So I got out and I looked, and as you can see, it's still nice and calm and flat. So nothing terribly exciting down there. This spot here is kind of nice. You can tell that there's a couple of spots right here where there's seasonal waterfalls. But I think that when the water's flowing, it'd be really hard to navigate this creek. It'd be too powerful and you wouldn't be able to get back up. So this is actually a really great time of year to be exploring. Even though the waterfalls are a little sparse, I have to admit. At the moment, I'm about halfway along that spot that I just showed you. And being pulled along by the current a little bit here. It's a nice spot. Okay, the current wants to take me a little further, so I'm going to put the camera away. In a second, I'm going to show you what appears to be a potential problem I'm predicting from here. Right in the middle of the screen, I can hear what sounds like rapids, small cascades, and I can see it goes around to the left, and it gets really narrow. And that can obviously present a problem, because if there's even one spot where there's sheer cliffs on both sides and there's rushing water, then I can't go down it, because I can't swim. Unless I can walk against the current, I can't do it. So we'll see in a moment here what that looks like. It could be a really cool spot, or it could be a major block for me. We'll see. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing as I'm approaching the spot, and it looks like it's going to be a neat little slot canyon. So let's see how it looks as I get closer here. Well, we've got a little feeder creek, so that might be something to explore. There might be something a little bit up that way. Yeah, it looks like it's really a neat little spot. It's going to be all coming down to whether I can get by there. So far, from here, it looks doable. Yeah, it definitely looks like a cool little spot. And so far, I don't see any, might be a little bit of a waterfall drop there. We'll have to check that out a little bit more. But yeah, it's steep cliffs on both sides, so if I can't get through there, there's no way I'm getting up and around, so I have to figure it out. Go a little further. As you can see right in the middle of the stream, there's about a 5-foot drop. And I think right there's another one. That could present a problem. So I'm going to have to carefully go down into here and see what's going on. Because, yeah, I have to be really careful here. The water's all calm right through there. So I can get to there safely, and then I can see further down. So yeah, I have to make sure I can get back up if I go down there. Hopefully I can. So this is actually a little double drop. And yes, there is another drop right there. So this is a major problem. Major problem here, because this is all smooth. There's nothing to grab onto, and although it looks like a little cascade of only 4 or 5 feet, well, again, there's nothing to grab onto here or over there. That's all slanted like that, so I can't pull myself up. And if I can't pull myself up, I can't go down it. Almost looks like I might be able to scamper along there, but that little spot there, that's a problem. And that goes way up there, so yeah, this is a problem. Definitely a problem. Well, stay tuned, we'll see what I can do, but I can't take any stupid chances, but it sure looks neat in there. It looks like there'd be a really cool shot looking back this way, but I can't jeopardize my safety. Unfortunately, I just don't see a safe way down there. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to take a few photos while the area is still in shade. And then this feeder creek here that I mentioned, I'm going to go up that way a little bit. And if by chance it looks like there's a way that I can kind of go up and over, I might give it a try, but I don't hold out a lot of hope, because I think there's just going to be cliffs that are too high down that way anyways. But regardless, I'm going to explore up that way for a little bit after I take a few photos. If any of the photos look any good, of course I'll include them with the video. But yeah, it's unfortunate. There could be a couple neat photos down that little slot canyon, but it's just too risky, so it might not happen. And I'm about an hour into this adventure since I started recording, so I have lots of time, but we'll just go one step at a time again. Alright, took a few photos of that spot, and now I'm exploring that little creek that I showed you. I think that I got maybe 2 shots that I might actually like of that other spot, and I still didn't find a way down, so again, I'll explore this creek for maybe a half an hour. I think there's a good chance I might find a nice little cascade somewhere. It's actually kind of a nice little scene right here with the mossy rocks, but not quite photo worthy, but yeah, it's as you can see, the moss is just glowing with a bit of subtle light on it. Actually, you know what? I might just snap a quick shot, because that does look kind of nice with those 5 big rocks. So far, no little waterfalls, but it's definitely piquing my curiosity. It's not too hard going, so I'm going to keep going. I'm about a half an hour into it now. Haven't found any waterfalls, but I just found the Fountain of Youth. Well, that's kind of cool. So yeah, this little section here is an interesting carved out wall. So I just arrived here, so let's just check this out. See if it turns into something a little more interesting. But so far everything has been just the same old. Some mossy stones and meandering creek. So it looks like this ends already, so nothing going on too. It is kind of interesting how this wall was carved out, but still doesn't lead to a waterfall. I'll keep going for a little bit more. Hopefully, if this little feature is here, maybe there'll be something more, but it's just a gently meandering creek so far. I'm curious to know what... Well, we got another pale ale colored pool of water here, and another one of these carved out areas. And as you can see, lots of mossy rocks, and it's not bad, but not good enough for photos. And so I guess I'm gonna have to turn around. interesting little feature. Well, guys and gals, I'm back at the cool little slot canyon, and of course I had a look around to see if I could find a way down there, but I don't see anything that would be safe. There's only one spot that would be, I'd call it a 50-50 chance I'd get it down there, but if I fell, it'd be a 100% chance I'd break some bones. So I just can't take the risk, unfortunately. Maybe I'll come back with the rope. Even with the rope, I think it'll be tricky, but it would be a lot more doable and possible. So I think rope and maybe bring a friend or something would be the answer to this. So anyhow, I think I'll sign off. I'll give you one last look at this nice, beautiful spot. It's pretty good light right now. And hope you enjoyed the video. And hopefully I'll be able to get out a few more times for the end of summer. I have a plan to go to one really cool spot, one of the coolest spots on the island before the end of summer. And of course I'll do a video of that. But until then, have a great day. And until next time, see you later, everyone. Good morning, everybody. Well, it's now 1 week later, and I'm back at this beautiful little spot. And this time, I of course brought my safety rope. I also made a couple of other alterations that have really helped. I've got different shoes on. I was wearing Teva sandals before, but now I'm wearing my hiking boots that have composite hard toes, so when you slip and slide around, you don't scrunch your toes, which is actually a big deal, because when I was in my Teva sandals, I was constantly hitting my toes and it's not very comfortable. And that allowed me to get here at least a third faster than before. So obviously I am bound and determined I'm going to tie up around probably that rock right there and probably head down that side right there, and then I'll go from there and see what there is to see. But I got here an hour earlier than last time, so I have lots of time to play. And I've got the SS Mini Minnow with me, of course. And I will tune back in once I've successfully negotiated getting down there, okay? See you in a second. Okay, I made it, but that was maybe the sketchiest thing that I've ever done, including the first time I went down to Seal Grotto wondering if I'd be able to pull myself back up on the rope. Yeah, there's two parts that honestly I'm not super worried about, but they're going to be challenging. This pool of water here is really, really deep. And around that corner there, that was the only way I could get over to here. And so what I had to do was, there wasn't lots of, when I go back, let's put it this way, when I go back, I have to pull myself out of the SS Mini Minnow, which is kind of challenging because usually I dock in shallow waters and I just stand up, which is sometimes challenging enough from a low seated position. But anyway, I made sure there's a couple really good handholds, so worst case scenario, it's going to be an effort, but I can pull myself up, at least I hope. And then getting back up the rope, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but the first part is going to be a little tricky. Anyhow, I made it, and what I foresee, unfortunately, very beautiful. However, right around that corner there, looks like I'm about to run into yet another situation just like what I went through. So I'm going to have to do some more exploring. And already, as you can see, the sun is really bright over there. So I was hoping I was going to be able to beat the sun and get some photos. So I think I'm just going to do some exploring for now. Yeah, I think that's about all I can really do. It's not very good for photos, so see what I can find and I'll report in as I get there. Here we are a little bit further down. So yeah, this is where it gets really crazy because that's deep. And if I get in the SS Mini Minnow And I start floating around this corner where I can't see absolutely anything. And there's a waterfall right around to the right. Well, you know what that means. Now I don't think it'd be a problem because I don't see the water flowing really quickly, so I could at the least grab onto some rock over there, and it's not flowing too badly, but still, this is yet another area where it's super slippery, and for me to have to pull myself back up, that all gets tricky. I think there's a nice shot from over there, but again, I'm going to have to really think it through and be careful. Now I don't have any more safety ropes, so give you a little view of where I just was. So somewhere in here there's some good shots, but the other thing that is not really good news is that I'm always looking for, once I get into a situation like this, I'm always looking for a potential alternative escape route, and so far I don't see any. Like, I could scamper up there, but then that's super steep right there, so I can't get further. And everywhere is just cliffs at a really sharp angle. So I only see one potential escape route up there, but I have to climb way up the hill. Anyhow, I'm not going to dwell on those things because I'm pretty good so far, I think. So I'm going to continue on. And I hate having to drag the SS Mini Minnow along with me everywhere, but it's going to be essential here, so do what I got to do. Well, I'm still alive. I guess that's a good thing, right? It's getting very interesting now. It's starting to remind me of Looper Canyon. And if you've been to Vancouver Island and you've been to Looper Canyon, you know how beautiful a spot that is, the #1 slot canyon on Vancouver Island for beauty, for sure. And this is starting to remind me of parts of Looper Canyon, except for there's no turquoise water. If there's turquoise water, that would be a greenish water, that would be a bonus. Anyhow, this is where I just came from. That's the slippery rocks I was talking about. I managed to find a way up and then back down, so I didn't have to get into the little rapids there or deal with the slippery rocks. As you can see, these are high rocks on all sides. I did find a potential escape route over there. A little sketchy, but better than nothing. Anyhow, this little curved area here is really neat. And there's a little waterfall right there. And I can get down there, it looks like, and continue on at least through there. And I'm just going to take it one small step at a time. So far, as beautiful as it is, it's really hard to find a good composition, especially with the sun over there. But I'll just keep exploring, and hopefully the conditions will be a little bit better on the way back, perhaps. But I'll keep checking in as I keep going. Another different angle, the same spot. Hard to get all this in here. Scan upwards. Got a waterfall right here, about a footer. It's falling free, obviously. There are only good shots down there, but and then the next leg. And again, I'm heading over there. It looks pretty calm over there, so looking good for the next little part. The beauty continues. Still going strong. And it looks really nice in here. Another big fallen tree, though. You can see over to the right. Sounds like there might be some kind of a waterfall further up ahead, but I can just faintly hear it at the moment. Moving my way down here. That's a nice little kind of a lagoon area with some big rocks that have obviously tumbled down. So yeah, I'll keep continuing. It looks like I'm gonna have to go from Down here, dock over there, explore, see what I can see from that angle, and just keep going. But yeah, it's very, very reminiscent of Looper once you get past the first kind of tough waterfall to climb up. Yet another section that I just showed you from the other angle there. And once again, it looks like I'll do another leg up here. Looks like another narrows area through there, so it's the beauty continues on. Oop, straight. Looks calm. I can't hear any. I'm pretty sure I hear some kind of a cascade or waterfall up ahead, but the water looks calm. And again, I should be able to stop if there is. So yeah, I should be good for another section. Pretty spectacular. I'm now floating in the next section, and I can report that I just went for a full swim. I had a really tricky part where I had to get into the SS Mini Minnow, and I had to try and do it at a bit of a really goofy angle, and sure enough, it flipped over and everything, including me and my backpack, went into the water. But of course I have my cameras in the dry bag, so everything should be okay. Now it looks like the canyon might be ending right at this corner here, so I'm gonna turn this off and paddle over to there, and we'll see. I just came through this gorgeous swimming lagoon. It's quite deep. I'm gonna guess at least 10 feet deep in the middle there. And as I suspected, the slot canyon ends right back there. So now I have to decide, do I want to keep exploring a little bit more in hopes of finding a waterfall, or do I want to start making my way slowly back and see if I can get some half decent photos? I think I'll explore a little bit more because it looks pretty easy going. I don't want to go too terribly far because I have a ways to get back. So this is the start of the next section. Beautiful golden color, nice reflection at the moment. So yeah, I definitely looks like smooth sailing through there, but it looks like it could be boring for a little while. I'm almost positive that there will be waterfalls eventually, but that might be a ways. I just enjoyed a 10-minute super relaxing paddle. Not seeing any spectacular scenery, although can't complain about this nice sunny area here. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, I've hit a rocky area, so I'm going to walk straight across there, and it looks like I'll be able to walk for a while, and I'll just leave this stuff behind and I'll see what I can see, and if nothing looks interesting a little bit further down around that corner, this will be my turnaround point. You probably can't see it very well, but not this tree here, but back there, it's a pretty decent sized tree. Definitely an old growth. So I'm betting there might be a few along here, and if so, they're probably undiscovered because I've seen zero signs of any people being down here. No litter. There's definitely no trails. I mean, this is the only way to get down into here. So I'm deep in the forest right now. And it's easy going for walking now that I have my hiking shoes on. So I can walk along here pretty quickly, but it's as you can see, funny how the The river's pretty, well, it's actually that last paddle was, I was really surprised how deep the water was. Look, good 10 feet deep at points. It's about 3 meters and a bit. But here, it's just a piddly little trickle. Well, guess what? Things are starting to look interesting again. I left my camera and all my other stuff behind, but yeah, this is coming into a neat little rocky area here. Now I'm glad that I came this far. Yeah, this is starting to look really interesting. So as long as I can keep walking without the SS mini minnow, I'll keep exploring here. But I wouldn't have been able to have taken any photos here anyway, so yeah, this is looking very interesting. Very interesting.